Good morning and welcome to Testimonial Tuesdays with Healing Power of Hemp. This is Brenda. I'm the CEO and founder of the company, and our Testimonial Tuesdays are a part of our CBD and Me parties, 7 days a week of bringing you ways that you can integrate hemp health and wellness at home, easily, playfully, and mindfully into your life. I'm really excited about our Tuesday series, our testimonials, because this is really an opportunity, especially in the time of the pandemic, where we feel disconnected and a lack of being in touch with other people. Stories are powerful, especially stories where we could do live interviews and feel like we're really connecting with folks more than just scrolling through social media or reading a post. So we've taken Tuesdays to elevate the stories of our clients, our customers, our advocates, and our allies to talk about their experience. And today we have Shelby DeLoach on the phone today. Shelby, thanks for joining us.
Hi.
Hi, I said phone, like it's so great to have you with us, Shelby. I'm really happy to share that we've been now friends, and you've been a customer of ours for over a year, maybe going on a year and a half now. And we've connected on a couple different levels. I know that you've had CBD upgrades at the spa and the salon that I helped launch, as well as being just a fierce advocate of our CBD products. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about your journey into exploring CBD and what took you that direction.
Absolutely. It's good to be here. You are one of my favorites, and your product is my favorite. So I met Brenda back in November of 2018. I had a really crazy year at my office, and I got an email from the spa, and they had said, hey, we're now selling these CBD products, and I didn't really know much about it. So I reached out to her via Facebook message, and she fielded all of my questions. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm very detailed, and I have a lot of questions with everything that I do. So Brenda was amazing and answered all of my questions, was so informative. I really had reached out to her because I had a crazy year at work. I work in the financial planning business, and we were in a buyout situation of two of my planners. And so I was just pulled in so many different directions. I didn't know up, down, left, right. So along with that, I was also going through infertility. That being a sensitive subject in and of itself, mixed with a Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, that was just crazy. I couldn't get my brain to stop. I wasn't sleeping well. I had so much on my brain. I had so much on my mind just all of the time. The work-life balance wasn't working. And we all need our sleep, obviously, to regenerate and at least help us get through the day. And when you're not getting that, you really feel the effects of lack of sleep for so long. And so I was just exhausted all the time. Once I spoke with Brenda, it was great. I said, you know what, I'm going to try it. I tried the 25 milligram capsules, and it was actually the day before. I'm the president of a nonprofit called Feed Hope, and I was having a huge fundraiser at my house the next day. And Brenda met me in my driveway. We talked about it. It was wonderful. I took one right before I went to bed, about 30 minutes before I went to bed. And I am not kidding you. That was the best sleep I'd had in over a year and a half. And I had not felt that refreshed in so long. I mean, I literally jumped out of bed after 7 hours of sleep and was ready to go. It was amazing. From that November day, I have never not taken it at night. And I sleep so well now. I'm a very light sleeper. So I was getting up in the middle of the night, maybe 3, 4, 5 times a night. And then, of course, if I think about one thing, that led to something else. And then I just couldn't go back to sleep. So I'd look at my Fitbit and was astounded at how much sleep I wasn't getting. I have been a huge advocate ever since that day. I use so many of her products. So that is the capsules that really helps me to get the sleep that I need to function as a normal human the next day. I use the tincture. I've got it at my desk here now that I'm working from home. I have it at my desk at my actual office. We have a funny story later on about that. But the tincture I use during the day, just because I get as we all get sidetracked, and I think now more than ever, if you get up to go take a break or walk around, you're in your house. If you're like me, I see one more project that I need to add to my list. So I try to take the tincture during the day just so that I can stay focused and work without getting too distracted, because we all have so many distractions when we're in our makeshift office.
Right. Well, and Shelby, I just to interrupt really quickly, I think that the emphasis on the sleep piece is so important. And I love that that's where you started your journey, because so much of our restorative, reparative work with our mind, our body, and our emotions happens while we sleep. And that connection then to focus and concentration bleeds right over, right? And I know that you have shared before how significant, like once the sleep started happening, then the concentration and the focus at work started to happen more. And how did you feel like it affected the stress and anxiety that you were experiencing with kind of the compounding effects that you were talking about at the beginning?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it really helped me silo everything. It helped me not get so worked up over one thing that where more thoughts come into my head over something else. And then we know how that story, it just snowballs. And really in the infertility world, that was where I think the majority of my anxiety and my is kind of situational depression too. And it really, I mean, once I could turn my brain off and get good sleep, I was able to think and silo things better and have a clearer picture of what I needed to focus on today. Was that something I really needed to worry about, or was that something that I needed to work through on my own versus having all of these things come at me at once? And so it really did help getting the sleep and then getting the focus that I needed to, 8 to 5, I need to focus on my job. When I get home, I needed to focus on my family and my life. And when I sleep, I needed to do just that, sleep. And so incorporating this in my daily everything now has really helped the entire cycle of, it's minimized that anxiety. I don't have the depression anymore. My infertility road is what it is. And I was able to work through that and get past that. And now just with everyday stress, I don't have it.
That's incredible. And I think that, often people ask the question of why is it, right? Why is it that you can go from living a modicum of a life that has these elements of stressors and then incorporating something like hemp CBD into it? What's the shift? And I think what I found in my journey in experiencing the healing power of hemp has really been the lack of information given by medical and health professionals about our endocannabinoid system that we have in our bodies, and that our bodies produce naturally all on its own, its very own CBD, endocannabinoids. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in and the way that most people live with exercise, diet, stress, and a variety of other factors, our bodies are tending to underproduce the amount of cannabinoids that we need in order for our inner peace and balance to happen. And that's what the endocannabinoid system is, that regulator. It's like the traffic cop for every major function in your body. So it's no surprise to me that once we start adding in CBD from a plant-based source, to fill in those gaps, that we start to sleep better and our stress is more regulated and our focus is more concentrated and we can go about living a happier life. And I think part of the driving work that I've always done in this world are stories like yours. And I love how much like every discovery that you've had along the way has been met with this call from you of like, Brenda, I tell you this. And you've actually like quite spread the word amongst your peers, which has been pretty, you're like known as now a hemp health advocate in your community, right?
I am. And it's so funny because I'd be at work and somebody would say something about CBD and they're like, go see Shelby. Go see Shelby. So no, I mean, I remember you telling me that story. The average person doesn't know that we have cannabinoids in our system. So you educated me on that. And so I've been able to take it's like the game of telephone, right? I'm definitely not going to say the exact right terminology that that you can use, but I can at least get us there. And it's been such a game changer for me that I am absolutely going to tell whoever I can about it, because it changed my life.
Well, and not only did it change your life, but I believe it changed the lives of a whole bunch of your coworkers. Like, can you take a minute to tell the story about the Great Flood?
Oh my gosh, the great flood of 2018, I think. So yes,
Uh-huh.
I started, and so I had met Brenda in November, and I had started using her CBD in November, and I think it was towards December. And we have in the financial world, we have a crazy year end, and everything's just coming at us at the speed of light. And so there was one Friday afternoon where I my boss, and he won't be, I don't know if he's going to be watching this ever, but anyway, I was the plant lady as well as my real job. So I needed to water plants every now and again. So I went and I didn't take my CBD that day. I go, and we had a small little room we had our own suite. So we had 4 offices. I was the only one left that day on a Friday afternoon. And I was like, oh gosh, I got to go water the plants. So I go with, reluctantly, as I always do, with this green bucket. I go put it in the sink, turn the water on. Normally I can do a few things and then go back to get it because it takes a while to fill up. And the phone rang. One thing led to another. 2 hours later, I go close up shop on a Friday afternoon because it's happy hour time, and the whole suite is flooded. Water everywhere. I opened, and I just went into a pure panic. And so after I left, I can laugh about it, but I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't take my tincture today. And so I went, from A to B to C to Z to Y. And yes, and the maintenance men were not very happy with me. And it actually flooded so bad that it flooded down to the 13th floor and onto their receptionist's desk. So, that day, when I left the maintenance guy, he was even laughing at me too. And I said, "Is it okay?" And he was like, and so when I left, it wasn't that bad. And then when I came back Monday morning, carpet was pulled up, walls were pulled up so that there wasn't a mold situation. So take your CBD. And every boss, it should be a part of our medical insurance now, that every boss needs to have a CBD tincture on their employee's desk.
Yours was the first text I've ever received that said, I destroyed our entire office building, and it should be in our policy, our work policy, that tinctures should be a part of it. I love it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story with our audience, and really be such an amazing advocate for hemp health and helping people understand how it could benefit them. And the benefit, of course, is that you can have it completely without THC, which is the isolate-based products are the ones that you order. And I would say you brought us probably 20 or 30% of all of our THC-free orders. So that seems to be a really nice bridge builder, it seems like, with the folks in your community who are curious about trying it out.
Right, absolutely. And everybody that has tried it has said amazing things about it. And yes, I mean, most of them, I think with some of the more significant issues, they have used some of and it's just some people's preference. They might want the THC, as we both know that it works better together, but the CBD by itself without the THC works amazing.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I appreciate everything that you've done. And, we're friends, we're neighbors, and so anything I can do to help, I'm here.
Awesome. Well, do you have any closing thoughts for people who maybe have never tried it before or might have some of the symptoms that you described?
Yes, try it. I mean, if you are having trouble sleeping, it turns your mind off. And that is really where most of our issues come from, is that we just can't, it's subconscious. And I didn't realize I had anxiety. I didn't realize I had, that much stress, because we carry it so differently, and we just power through, right? I've always just powered through the day, and you don't really realize how it really catches up to you. And so absolutely go, if you're concerned about it, go the THC route or the THC free route, and you will find a difference in your sleeping patterns. You'll find a difference in your focus during the day. My mom takes it. She carries that tincture around in her purse all the time because, she's over 70 and it's just focus. And you've got a lot of the older generation that I think also is curious about it. But they don't really know the right questions to ask. And then they think, everybody thinks, you think CBD, you think pot. And we just have tried to work so hard to reduce the stimulus,
the stigma around that. Yeah. Exactly right.
So, and anxiety and depression, I think at some point we all have it. And the stigma that has been reduced because of, we all talk about it now, and it's okay to have it. It's okay to, it shouldn't be a label anymore. Right. It's just a part of life. And so if you have any questions, you feel free to ask me. And Brenda she's always been amazing with answering any and all questions. Very detailed. She would send me book snippets. so I'd save them if I forgot. And I'm like, oh yeah, she said it does this. It's been great. So yes, I think if there's any questions you have, reach out, and we're here to help and answer those for you. And I think it doesn't hurt to try it.
Awesome. Thank you, Shelby. And thank you for being such an amazing ally. I want to note that as part of our CBD for a Cause, which is our giving back, particularly during this time of the pandemic and people being impacted by being out of work or really concerned about their finances, we've initiated CBD for a Cause. And everyone who is a guest, like Shelby today, has the opportunity to earn almost all of our profits associated with any orders that gets placed. So if you're interested in trying CBD for the very first time or just placing a new order again, you can use Shelby when you check out as a discount code. You'll get $5 off, and Shelby will get to make a little bit of extra money to put away for a rainy day during this time period. So we appreciate everybody who's watching this and who will tune in. And Shelby, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.